For some people, keto is easy. For some people, keto is hard. And for some people, it's easy, but then it gets hard and very discouraging because it's not working. So today I'm going to give you 5 reasons why the keto diet may not be working for you. So the first one, and this is a big one for a lot of people, but it's focusing on the weight loss. You got people that are weighing themselves every day. I like to call them scale watchers. If you're weighing yourself every day, you're gonna see a fluctuation. Some people can get on the scale and gain so much as just 1 pound and absolutely freak out and get discouraged and wonder why it's not working. Well, that's not how it works. Even for a healthy person, it's gonna be 1 to 2 pounds a week. So if you're weighing yourself every day, you honestly need to take it to every week. But also another thing you got to keep in mind is it's get healthy to lose weight, not lose weight to get healthy. For number 2, even if you're staying steady and consistent and staying on it, if you're not doing keto correctly, the weight loss is not going to happen like you want it to happen. And what I'm specifically going to talk about here is the net carb limit, the carb limit that you have daily. So there's different ways to gauge this. If you're someone that works out 2 to 4 times a week and you go and you work out hard, whether it's weights or cardio or whatever it may be, usually you can have up to 50 carbs a day. But for some people, that's going to be a little too much. If you're not working out that consistently and not going and getting a good amount of physical activity in during the day, which you should try your best to, then you want to stick to the 20 carbs and below, because you're not going to the gym or doing any kind of activity to utilize those carbs you are taking in to burn up for fuel. And once those get out of the way, that's when your body can tap into your fat stores. At this point, you may be thinking, well, Matt, I already stay at my 20 carb limit a day, but I'm still not losing weight. Well, at that point, you just want to drop it down even lower. You want to take it down an extra 10. Stay within 10 or less carbs a day and see what that does for you. So you've dropped the net carbs where they need to be, but you've got a lot of gas and bloating and possibly the keto rash. Proper bile production is going to be essential for keto to work the way that it's supposed to work. Bile is what breaks down fat, and it's made in the liver, stored and concentrated in the gallbladder, and every time you eat, it's released into the intestines so that you can break down the fat and extract the fat-soluble vitamins and get them broken down to where they can go into the liver to be turned into ketones. But if you don't have enough bile, then that whole process is going to be screwed up. So when it's not happening naturally, you're going to have to go to things that you can consume to increase this production. I've got a whole list here. You've got things like ginger root tea, dandelion tea, artichokes, lemons, limes, radishes, cranberries, and cilantro. These are all healthy, bitter-rich foods that are going to increase bile production, because for a keto diet to work, a higher fat diet to work, you're going to have more bile. But what if you don't have gas and bloating or the keto rash or other things that could be caused possibly by not being able to digest fats because of a lack of bile? Well, this is going to be number 4, and that is you're not fat adapted. You have not reached fat adaptation. That is going to be a big major reason why keto's not working for you. I've got a full video on fat adaptation that I'll link up here in the description just to give it to you in a nutshell. With fat adaptation, some people will say, oh, you can reach it in about 2 or 3 weeks. Well, that's usually not true. Even if you're doing a strict version of keto where you're limiting the carbs to dang near 0, it's still going to take longer than that, especially if you're extremely insulin resistant. If you're really insulin resistant, that means that you've got a lot of insulin going through your bloodstream. It's not doing its job because the cells are insulin resistant to it. And in the presence of insulin, you cannot burn a single ounce of fat. Now, not demonizing insulin, because it does have a job and purpose. Insulin in itself is a hormone, and it is a storage hormone, so to speak. It goes around the body and opens up the cells so the cells can receive nutrients and other things. In a normal healthy person, that process goes, and then the insulin drops down because it's being used up, In the feedback loop to the pancreas, where insulin is made, that feedback loop is working. So at that point, the pancreas does not release no more insulin. Now, at that point, when you've ran all your glucose energy out, that's when the body says, okay, it's time to burn fat for fuel. So if you've got insulin circulating through the system all day in any amount, fat burning is not going to happen. That's one of the biggest things that a lot of people don't get. And usually this can take anywhere from 2 to 3 months to get fully fat adapted. You may have people occasionally reach that point earlier, but that's usually pretty rare. Now this is going to sound super generic for number 5, and that's going to be stress and sleep. For some people, this is going to be a really easy fix, and other people, it's going to be a little bit harder than that. Some of you may be nodding your head going, yes, there's a lot of things I got going on that I can't get into bed when I need to get into bed and get enough hours of sleep. I can't get rid of certain things in my life that are stressing me out. You may have a lot of overtime going on at work. You may have a lot of stressful family issues. You may have 1 or 2 kids. You may have 10 kids. If you have 10 kids, I will pray for you. It's at this point that you may need to consider taking certain things to help with this stuff. And I know a lot of people are against supplements. I don't need to take that. I don't want to do this, or I want to do this supplement free. Okay, well, that's great and all, but supplements have a time and place. One of the best things that you can do that's not a supplement would be intermittent fasting if you're not already doing that, because doing intermittent fasting actually slightly reduces the body's need for sleep. Because when you're sleeping, you're going through a repair and recovery and cleansing process. Well, when you're intermittent fasting, when you're at the end of that fasting window during the day, you're having some of that stuff already being taken care of. So if you don't do intermittent fasting, that would be one good thing for sleep. The second good thing for sleep is going to be adaptogenic herbs. And just to keep things simple, the best all around, from what I've seen and heard and done research on, is going to be ashwagandha. What ashwagandha and other adaptogenic herbs do is they help the body adapt, and specifically more stress coming from not enough sleep is going to be something that is really going to help your body deal with the lack of sleep. So ashwagandha is going to be a great one for both of those. Now, specifically for stress, one of the best things that you can take, in my personal opinion, is going to be magnesium threonate. Basically, threonate is a type of magnesium that is able to penetrate the blood-brain barrier and get into the brain. All other forms of magnesium have a really hard time getting into the brain. So magnesium is a calming mineral. When you have a calming mineral able to get into the brain in a high amount, it's obviously going to help keep you a lot calmer and deal with stress a lot better. I went ahead and put a link into the description to the one that I use by now. Something even better, and this is something that I personally take before bed, and I don't have it with me, but I'll throw it up on the screen, but that's going to be MagEnhance. Now, this is a combination of magnesium threonate, taurate, and glycinate. I told you about threonate, but taurate helps the body adapt and deal with stress, like the adaptogenic herbs that I talked about. And then magnesium glycinate is the most absorbable form of magnesium, and that'll also be down below too if you want to check it out. Guys, I hope this information helps get the scale moving in the right direction again, but keep it keto, keep it healthy, and I'll see y'all later.